Welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, created and hosted by Scott Knudsen, to explore the crossroads of horses and business. Now here's your host, Scott Knudsen.
Hi, and welcome to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Scott Knudsen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Whether you're listening to us on KCAA, the NBC affiliate out in California, or watching our podcast on one of our many platforms, we want to thank you. Today, we have a very fun show. It's going to be an entertaining show. It could go any direction, so we're going to have a lot of fun today. Mackenzie Bloomer is with us, and she is the editor of Performance Horse Digest. Mackenzie, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, we're going to have so much fun. I'm so glad our schedules worked out so we could do the show. Where do we start? Let's start with Performance Horse and just growing up. So did you grow up with horses?
I did. I grew up on a farm, and we always had about, 6 to 9 horses at any given point. And I like to say that if you grow up with horses, you are prepared for life, right?
Absolutely.
You know how to ride anything out, and you know when to bail, right? And and you know how to get back up in the saddle and keep going.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And you do, man, that's life right there. And I think a horse at a young age just teaches you that,
It does. And how to have compassion and, to commune with an animal like that, and an animal that's so many times your size, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of breeds did you have growing up, or what was your favorite?
Oh gosh. Well, we always had a variety. Right now on the farm, we've got, a lot of quarter horses, reining, cutting horses. I grew up riding an Arab and a paint horse, and we had Andalusians. So a variety.
Yeah. That's so cool. That's so cool. So did you have a favorite horse growing up?
Oh gosh. Well, good old Scout is the, the good old boy who gave me so much confidence, because he was so well broke. I could just take him into the ring and he did his thing. I didn't have to do anything, right? And then Valero was, a little bit more hot-headed and a little bit more fun.
Yes.
As I got older,
It takes them both, doesn't it? It takes to build up the confidence, the other one to kind of get you over it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so awesome. So when you were growing up, did you want to be in equine journalism? Was that ever your focus?
Gosh, I grew up, I wanted to be an actress and a singer and a dancer, and that's actually what I did. And then it's funny, because I was always like, my dream is to be in a Western, because it would combine my two passions.
Awesome.
Right?
Yes.
And then I ended up marrying a stunt man, and so we've got a lot of our friends are on Yellowstone and whatnot. And my husband's more water focused, but horses has always been my through line. Whether I was singing and dancing on a stage in New York City or performing in Japan, like my heart was always at home on the farm. And like the minute I got back in the saddle, or just like bareback on a horse, and was out there feeling the wind and the horse beneath me, like that is home to me.
Yeah.
And that is where my center is. And so did I plan on being in a journalism with horses? No, but my father started Performance Horse, as you know, in 2007. And I worked with him on the magazine for many years. The last 5 years, not so much. I kind of got distracted being a mom and a stepmom, and as those things go. But he and I are so similar. Our personalities and even our strengths as far as entrepreneurship and design, and being able to handle print, web, digital. I actually worked with CoverGirl in the New York Comedy Festival, doing graphic and web design for them and marketing as my day job, while I was pursuing performance.
Right.
So yeah, and we can fill everybody in that my father passed suddenly in January, which was it's been heartbreaking and tragic, and another one of those moments in life where you have to just get in the saddle and ride.
Absolutely.
We we had his funeral on a Saturday, and on that Monday I got to work putting together the February issue.
Get right back in the saddle. It just puts you back in the moment where you have to, do that and carry the legacy.
Right. Exactly.
Wow. Wow. So whenever he came home, or whenever he called you and said, "Hey, we're going to start a magazine," back in '07, what was your first thought?
Oh, he's an entrepreneur,
He
and
is. He was. Yeah.
so he was already working in print publications for many years, and he's like, I can do that. I want to do my own.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work for somebody else. I want to do my own. So we were all just like supportive. Go, Dad. Our whole family, my mom's side, my dad's side, everybody's either a farmer or an entrepreneur, right? Which is all like self-starters.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it wasn't an easy road. It's not an easy road to start your own business, and to oftentimes like float things and fund things until it's making money. And
it's a challenge, and I appreciate. That's why I'm so excited. There's many reasons I'm excited you're on the show, but there's so many entrepreneurs that listen to us or watch us, and they're looking for insight on how do you do that, and it is hard, and I don't think enough people say that, and I appreciate you saying that. What maybe was one of your first lessons as being an entrepreneur, whether it was with the magazine?
Just realizing that it never, unless you learn to shut it down and take a moment of like self-care, or try to balance it with family life, like it is 24/7.
It's all consuming.
It's all consuming. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a lesson I'm still learning. Being an entrepreneur is when to put it away, or how to structure life so that you can fit all the important pieces in.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And it's hard to do. It seems like it's always changing. It's always changing, and that's the schedule changes with it.
Yes. And like you said, nowadays, if you have your own business, you need to be on social media, you need to be present on so many platforms, and it's really it can be very overwhelming. And so there is, I think when you can hire people for what they're good at and let them run with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stay out of the way. Just hire them and put them to work.
And get out of the way. Yes. And then where you can automate, figure out where you can automate. And there are some really great platforms out there. I've actually been in the process, as we're putting up the new website for the magazine. You can go to performancehorse.online. In the background, I've been really digging into a new software that helps automate client engagement and managing subscriptions and when they start and stop. And there's a huge value in that. It takes a bit of investment in a season, but then it kind of does it for you in the background, which is
very
off. Useful.
It pays off. And it's performancehorse.com.
Performancehorse.online.
.online. And it just released today, the brand new one.
The brand new one, yes.
Oh, that's so cool. So cool. So let's talk about the magazine. So what is the horse magazine geared toward? Is it professionals, everyday rider? What is the focus?
It's geared towards both. I like to say that we have training tips and Western lifestyle for the pro competitor and rancher, as well as the horse lover in all of us.
Yeah, there you go.
So everyone can find something of interest or something that can help them along their path, no matter where they are, if they're just a beginner or if they've been doing it their whole life.
Yeah, that's so great. And there's so much passion that comes from the magazine. It's so beautiful to be put together. And it's online, and it's also paperback, so you can order it and get it in the mail. Correct?
Yes. Yes, you can. Good old fashioned that way.
I love that. I love holding the Good Horse magazine and reading that, and but the subscribers online is a big number. It's a big magazine.
Yes, it is. We've got about 300,000 plus subscribers to our email list. So we do a lot of email marketing and just try to keep keep the conversation going with our readers, which
I love
I
that.
that's one of the things I really want to focus on as we continue to grow, is developing more of a community aspect and really taking cues from our audience and our readers as to what they want to see and read and hear and talk about.
That's awesome. So how do you do that? So if there's a reader or there's readers that want to say, hey, I love reading about this, but I don't see it enough. How can we get this to you? What's the best way? Social media, or what's the best way?
Social media works, or shoot me an email, Makie@performancesource.online.
I love it.
You can find it there. So, and I know you introduced me as Mackenzie, but everybody has called me Makie since I was yay high.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's kind of what I run with. It's funny because I know I mentioned this before, but when I was an actress, and I'm also a singer-songwriter. So at one point I was like, you know what? I felt that I was so much trying to be somebody or what everybody else wanted me to be. And this is anybody, and any young soul in the world today will fall prey to this, right?
Sure.
And what do they want me to be? And at one point I was like, you know what? I'm a farm girl from Blue Earth, Minnesota, and everybody calls me Makie. So that's at one point I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go by this little nickname that everybody called me when I was younger, because it felt most authentic. And that's something that's very important to me, is to be authentic in this world, which is a crazy place. This world is pretty crazy.
I love that. I love that. Farm girl from Minnesota.
Scott will be right back with more.
Hi, I'm Scott Knutson, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Today, we're going to talk about something I'm really passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. Those that don't, now you know I do. And we've been working on this for several months, and we wanted to get it just right. And we don't put our name on anything unless we feel 100% certain it's the best product we can get. And we've done it. I really believe we've done it. We've created a coffee line, 13 great flavors. I'm going to show you 3 of them. We have K-Cups in all 13 flavors. Here's a Jamaican Me Crazy. It's just a really great coffee. Everyone has great logos. It has a brand, the same brand that's on our horses, our trailers. You know that brand means something, and we wouldn't put it on here if it wasn't good coffee. We have whole bean. This is a great Honduran blend, and it's a whole bean coffee. We have whole bean in all 13 flavors. And then we have a ground coffee. This is a really great one. My wife and I really like this a lot, loved it. So we named it after our daughter, Hades Glen. Everyone has the packaging and the logo of the show, our brand, and I hope you like it. I really believe you will. And we're going to have more flavors coming out soon. We're going to have the pumpkin spices, and then we're going to go to peppermint after that. And please send us your suggestions as well. You can find it at cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Think coffee shop. Cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Thank you so much.
So since you brought up Minnesota, what was that like riding horses? Come down in Texas. What was it like riding horses in that cold?
Oh my gosh. the wind that, will almost knock you over. You got to have some thick skin and
yeah, absolutely.
And bundle up, and your fingers, it's hard to even grasp the reins and have enough strength because your fingers are frozen. But hey,
y'all are tough, man. You're like, I can handle 102, but negative that, I don't know.
Well, I think handling 102 is also
extremes. We've had extremes.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. So I think we're both members of American Horse Publications too, and yes. I love that group. They're so great about networking riders and journals and magazines.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that? About how the networking part is so important in our business?
My father always said there's nothing that will replace a handshake. Absolutely. Which is so true. And this day and age, it's a blessing and a curse, right? You and I can sit here and have a conversation over Zoom.
Right.
It's cool. But I cannot wait to meet you in person and give
it's gonna be fun.
A handshake or a hug. I'm kind of a hugger, but But it is so important to have real relationships, and that's how the world works, is on friendships. And I think in this business, it's one of the things I really love, especially compared to the entertainment business, is that in the horse world, I just feel like people are really grounded and down to earth, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that a lot of us have a common goal of, like, family, God, country. And so if we can just always try to be supportive of one another and remain united in a world that's so divided,
Right.
if we remain united, we can rise together and do great things.
I love that. And I think our industry, we have the different disciplines, but all in all, it's a pretty united group. They'll
Yeah,
help you if you're down. And even if you're not, if you just need help or ask a question, there's a lot of good people in our industry.
there is, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if you love a horse, you love a horse. It doesn't matter what breed,
Absolutely.
what discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. And like you brought up Yellowstone and your magazine and what we try and do, there's so many more, what is it? Inroads for people to come into the industry. And I
Yeah.
love that about your magazine. It is for the professional, but it's so easy to read. Someone that wants to get in the industry can read it and feel they understand it.
Yes. And I'm really excited about your contribution to the magazine
Thank you.
also, because
Yeah, I'm so honored to be a writer with y'all. Oh my goodness.
no, I'm so excited because you add such another unique angle for our readers.
Thank you.
Whether you're talking about business and entrepreneurship, or just like inspirational stuff and all your personal stories and getting through, that's all necessary, and it makes us very well-rounded. So,
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, it's an honor. I'll tell you what, I get so many compliments about it too, about the magazine. People love it, and I'm trying not to mess that up. So I'm like, oh no.
no, you're nothing but an asset. So it's great.
Thank you.
You bring
Thank
us
you.
up.
So how are you adjusting with people, with shorter maybe attention spans, or maybe they don't have time to really read a long article? How are you doing, like, for quicker snapshot articles, or how do you get those people that can just look online real quick or read a short article? How are you changing some of the structure toward that?
I know it's interesting, and I don't know if this is going to directly answer your question, but years ago, so many publications have just gone strictly online.
Right.
Right. And we've tried to remain in print. However, there's a struggle there with rising paper costs and shipping costs and all of these things. But yeah, you're right. The attention spans, we have so many things coming at us in this world. So, bite size, I just got us started on Instagram. So hopefully we can start thriving there. But, bite sized little bits of stories and content is so important these days. But then if you want to get to the meat of it, please pick up a copy, or
Absolutely.
log in online and read the full article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. What other trends do you see in not only journalists, but with the horses involved in the journalism? Is there any other trends you see?
With the horses involved in the journalism?
Yeah, with the equine journalism and such, people coming out of college, or people that look at a magazine, what are you seeing that's maybe changing in the industry besides the shorter attention, or I don't know if it's short attention spans. I think it's just they don't have time, but once they find something they want to read, they'll find time,
Right. Well, it's interesting. And I don't know if I'm going to answer your question.
I don't even know if I'm asking it right, so it's okay.
Well, that you mentioned, younger generations coming up and people coming out of college and whatnot. And that's another thing that we want to kind of tap into in our magazine, as well as, kind of talking to some young ranchers starting out, and, just seeing how they balance business, family, ranching, and all of that, and then we've got people like yourself who are well established, have kids, and you've been doing it for a while, the juggling act.
Yeah. It's interesting how we can learn from both sides, the older people and the younger people. There's different things we can learn from, And I think I know the magazine does as well. It shares so many different views. It doesn't really matter what age or how long you've been in the business, you can learn something and enjoy the read for sure. And the pictures are beautiful for sure too. So what's next for the magazine? So more social online presence for sure with the Instagram.
Yeah, and then just adding a little bit more Western lifestyle to it too. We've been so good and so consistent at giving training tips, but then adding a variety, like some of the stuff that you're writing, and then actually we threw in a couple recipes this last issue, and doing a little bit more lifestyle things as well, and maybe including a little bit more of the female aspect to it too.
Yeah, it's a huge part. It's a huge
landed
part.
in the hands of
Yeah. Well, that's a huge part. The female riders and trainers. It's just more and more, which is great. It's awesome.
It's
so-
really exciting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I know they just had the Cowgirl Cadillacs, and it was all horses for sale, trained by women, right? For women.
Oh yeah, cool.
pretty
Very
cool.
cool. That's very
It's
cool.
really
I
Yeah.
love it. It's creative. I love stuff like that. That's new and creative, and just gets people excited about our industry. And we need more of it.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So as far as with riders, what's one of the biggest mistakes maybe a rider does when they're writing for a magazine or online publication? What's a writing tip you can give somebody?
Oh gosh, a writing tip.
Well,
I always like to be pretty personal in my writing. And I think I used to have a blog that did pretty well. But the thing about that is to talk as if you're talking to your best friend,
right.
And be pretty conversational. And I think that will grab a reader and carry them through to the end of the article. Speaking of attention spans.
Yeah, absolutely.
So writing as if they're right there with you is.
Yeah. It's funny. Whenever I speak, I'm so blessed. I get to go to a lot of universities and talk to them, and there's so many people that say, "I want to write for a magazine." I want to write about the industry, and I'm like, "That's so cool." And then the second question, "How do I start?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness," and just how would somebody start? So if there's somebody watching right now that's never wrote for a magazine, and say, "I want to start writing articles,"
Oh my gosh, send me an email.
do?
Write an article and send it.
Yeah. So you take freelancers.
Yes, we do. And, we're always looking for fresh content. Content in this world is king, right? Whether
Absolutely.
you have a magazine or you're running your personal Instagram or, whatever your business is, content is king.
Absolutely.
Being consistent and having content, and valuable content though. That's, I know there's been this trend lately. It's called entertainment marketing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you see it, like all the reels and stuff. And there is something to be said about that, right? If you can be entertaining, but also always remember to add value. And I think, I think about that every time I send an email, whether it's for Performance Horse or for my other business, which we can talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just like spam people. I want to add value, right?
Love
So
that.
why am I in your inbox today? Or why is my magazine on your coffee table today?
Love that.
I want to add value. I don't want to take up space, and time is hard to come by these days.
That's great advice.
Yeah. So to circle back, anybody who wants to start out writing, write an article, send it. People are looking for valuable content.
I love that. I love that.
And I love to support young people coming up. It brings me great joy. I also have another company called Late Bloomer Crew. It's a lifestyle brand. And we actually do some custom painted, upcycled jean jackets and things like that. And I've had some young high school artists actually paint them, because I love to foster creativity as well as entrepreneurship in young people.
Oh, that's so cool. So let's talk late bloomer real quick since we brought it up, and we'll pop back to the
Sure.
magazine. So late bloomer, how can they find that?
Sure, go to latebloomercrew.com.
Okay.
We're a lifestyle brand. We've got a lot of different collections out there. Some of them pair with some of my music. I didn't mention that yet, but I'm also a music artist.
Yeah, you do so much in the entrepreneurial realm, but everything you do, it seems it's really cool.
Well, and I think right now the thing is, and I had mentioned this to you before, but my next song coming out is called Detours. And I was actually in the recording studio when I found out about my dad and hopped on a plane and rushed home to be with him as he passed. And then all of a sudden this magazine landed in my lap. But the whole theme of Detours, the song, and also Late Bloomer Crew is that, it's never too late, even though, case in point, I feel like my dad's life was cut short, but then for the rest of us, life can feel long.
Right.
As in a personal sense, life feels long to me until I see him again. But with that, you can always try something new. You can always try and fail again and try again. And this magazine landing in my lap kind of felt like yet another detour in my life, possibly, right? Because I was on track to,
Sure.
Release more music. And, I just started Late Bloomer Crew, this lifestyle brand. And I was going to start a podcast for Late Bloomer Crew. And now all of a sudden I'm the editor of Performance Horse. But that there's a line in the song that says, we can turn the detours into rhyme. It's time to turn the detours into rhyme. And I feel that sometimes in life we hit a detour and we think we're being taken off track from where we thought we were going, but God is actually really taking us to where we're supposed to go.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it takes you all the way back full circle to your roots, which is what just happened to me.
Yeah.
Isn't
that something? Just
like running business with my dad, even though he's not here physically, he's like helping me from the other side run this business. So.
Yeah. Trust the walk. I love that. It's beautiful for sure. So you mentioned it. So I think behind the gray curtain there is a studio and you have an album coming out. So where can people find your music?
Go to makiemusic.com. That's MAKIE music.com. Or just find me on Instagram. On my Instagram, there's links to everything. You can find Late Bloomer Crew from there. Awesome. Go check it out. Listen, the last song I released is called Bloom Wild, and my daughter is on it. My little 5-year-old daughter. She starts and ends the song, so it's really cute because I was like, "Why don't you sing this line with me?" She's like, "No, mommy, I'm gonna make up my own song." So you can hear her. It's really cute. It's adorable. And then a song before that is called Anchor Down. And my husband sings with me on that. I got my stunt man to sing into the microphone. So,
awesome. Awesome.
And it's fun. You can watch our music video. And
that's so cool. And Anchor. So he's into water. He's a water stunt man. So it kind of goes together too.
Exactly. Yes.
Very
and that's
cool.
kind of just playing off of, I think a lot of people in the last few years with everything that's been going on in the world, some people probably feel a little thrown off balance.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole purpose of that song is just to, anchor down, trust God, and let's love one another.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my goodness. That had to be fun to record with your husband and your daughter.
It's so fun. I'm all about family, honestly, if you're an artist, you just truly should make art for the purpose of, for me, it's to inspire others. And, it doesn't matter whether you become a huge celebrity or not, but if you're doing what you love, and it's so pleasurable to me to include friends and family and collaborate with people that I just enjoy, like being on this podcast with you today.
Oh, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's amazing how our worlds went together, and your dad had so much to do with it for sure. And it's just amazing story.
Scott will be right back with more.
Hi, I'm Scott Knutson, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, heard on KCAA, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Pacific. I'd like to talk to you about something I'm very passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. In the morning, afternoon, and even late in the evening, I enjoy a good cup of coffee almost any time of the day. Now, my team at the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show has been working for several months on creating and introducing our own brand of coffee. We wanted to make sure that we got it just right. We don't want to put our name on anything unless we're 100% certain that it's the best product available, and we've finally done it. We have created a wonderful line of coffees, 13 fantastic flavors offered in whole bean, ground, and K-cups, any way you like to brew your coffee. Now, each of our coffees carries our brand, the very same brand that we put on our horses, our trailers, and our chaps. So you know that this is a quality product. And we only use 100% Arabica beans, the very best beans available. Just listen to some of these wonderful blends and flavors. Jamaican Me Crazy, Honduran San Marcos, Chocolate Cherry Amaretto, Breakfast Blend, and my very favorite, Haley's Blend. A coffee so good, we named it after my daughter. You can order these coffees today by going online to cowboyentrepreneur.shop. That's cowboyentrepreneur.shop. And if you order today, you can get an extra 10% off your final purchase just by entering the promo code COWBOY on checkout. Remember, that's promo code COWBOY for an extra 10% off. Just go to cowboyentrepreneur.shop to order your coffee today.
Thank you for listening to the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Scott will be right back with more. For more information on Scott Knutson, the Cowboy Entrepreneur, visit us online at cowboyentrepreneur.com.
So let's go back to the magazine, because as far as when people are writing for your magazine or writing in general, I get this question a lot, and I know you can help me with it. Fact checking. How, when somebody writes an article or something they see, how do you go about fact checking, or maybe a writer that wants to fact check before they send it in because their name's on it? They want to make sure everything's right.
Right.
What would be the best way? How do you do that as far as the fact checking part for a writer?
Oh my gosh. Google.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I say, but I didn't know if there's some, secret publication way to help that, because nobody wants to put their name on something that's not right.
I know. And honestly, I say this real tongue in cheek, but do you even trust Google today?
No, I agree with you. You have to research to make sure.
Yeah. And ask, and like you said earlier, that the older generations can learn from the younger and younger from the older.
Right.
I really feel that it's so important to have a mentor in your walk, whether it's your creative walk, your entrepreneurial walk, your spiritual walk, to have a mentor and someone who's kind of walked that walk before. And maybe, as far as fact checking, just speak with other more seasoned people.
I love that. I think the use of mentors is not where it should be, for sure. I think everybody should have them for all different things. I still call people, I've been in the horse business my whole life, and you're always trying to get better and learn from other people. And a mentor doesn't have to be older than you,
Right.
I don't think.
Right.
So I love that. So with the new breeds that are coming out, new breeds of horses in the horse registries, and there's always new disciplines. It's kind of fun to watch it shaping. How do y'all stay ahead of it, or because it seems like the industry is changing really fast, with the more women trainers and more different breeds. There's new breeds. So how do y'all stay ahead of the curve?
Oh my gosh, it's hard to stay ahead,
Yeah.
especially with the monthly magazine. We're just trying to, again, make sure our content is in line and our advertisers are fully, supported. And so I do rely on talking to other people, case in point, what's going on, or where do we need to be, and it's exciting, like you said, all these different disciplines coming out, like you said. It's it's like all of a sudden it's almost like X Games for the horses, right? So it's really inventive and fun, but to stay in the know all the time is.
Yeah. It's tough to do, to really stay ahead of what's going on, especially with a monthly. That's tough, you know. So what was your favorite magazine? Did you ever have like your favorite issue of your magazine? Was there one that stood out, or one that was special to you?
Well, I always loved reading my dad's editorial, and that's my
Yeah, absolutely.
that's my daddy. But there was an issue, I'm trying to remember which one it was, but he wrote an editorial called Cowboy Up, and I really appreciated that, and we actually handed it out as at his funeral. Um, you know, just kind of bucking up, and like we said, get back in the saddle and stand for what's right, and you know, stand for
Yeah,
what's true. So
I love that. I love that. So
but I guess I should mention that we do have a stallion issue, and in July we'll have a resource guide coming out with a special in there. So if any advertisers want to hop on and get a special pricing to be a part of our resource guide, that'll be a fun kind of
that's a great deal. So how would somebody, if they want to be a sponsor, get involved with that? How would they do that? Just email you?
We've got a guy, his name is Chris, and you can find his information on our website.
Okay. Awesome.
So, online.
Awesome.
Click on advertise and you'll be all set from there.
Yeah, I know if I was advertising my business, I definitely want to be in this magazine, because it is so diverse and so professionally put together. You definitely want your name associated with something like this, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, if we
yeah.
also make sure to email it out to our list and try to promote it on various platforms, so
That's
everybody
awesome.
gets.
Well, it's a big number. I mean, that's a huge number of people reading the magazine. I think it's just going to grow as you expand the different content.
100%.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So what else is going on with Performance Horse? That we got the social media growing, we got the magazine growing, new riders. What, what else is another focus of it to get it to that next level? Because you and your dad were such a great team, and then in the last 5 years, you know, your dad was doing so great with it.
Yeah.
With the editorial. Now you're writing the editorials.
Yes, I
Yeah,
am.
yeah. So what's that like? I mean, taking that over and writing something like that. Do you plan out what you're going to say, or you just let it go? Is it like writing a song, in other words, where you just let your words
It
flow?
is. Yeah, it's like writing a song for me, and I truly enjoy writing and public speaking, and but I've always kind of been the person that's like, the night before I've got like an idea, and then I get up at 4 a.m, and then I know what I'm going to say, you know. I mean, it's good to be well planned out, and I like to have a content calendar, and kind of I was just thrown into this so fast that I'm a little bit doing that 4 a.m. thing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, sometimes people just work better at that time of day. You know, I get up early, and I think I'm more fresh, you know, earlier in the morning.
Yeah,
You know, I kind of do the same thing. You know, I think about it and I put it together early. You know, whether I'm speaking or writing for your magazine or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah. So when you public speak, where do you speak?
Well, the church that I grew up in and go to it's a lay ministry, and so you know, you often get asked to speak, or you know, get up there, testimony. And then I was also an actress for many years, so on stage, and I've spoken to like youth groups and things like that. I truly enjoy just connecting people and being a bearer of light and inspiration and love and encouragement. So.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So when you were an actor or doing the acting, did you ever get a chance to be in a movie, like a Western, like you said?
No, I didn't. So I'm like, hey babe, you know, why don't you hook me up? So, and it's funny, I do just a few months ago, like signed with an agent again, and
Good
whatnot.
for you.
So, you know, it's something that I love, and I'm sure that'll probably come my way too. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah.
So I just forgot what I was going to say because I think it'd be so cool to be in the Western. But you got to call your friends at Yellowstone. Hey, I need to ride a horse.
Seriously, I know.
Yeah, in front of the camera.
Yes, it'll just like check that like bucket list item.
Yeah, that'd be one more thing. One more thing. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, and thanks for letting me write for your magazine. I love it. And
Thank you.
when we post the magazine, it gets so many likes and shares, and the response is so great. So
that makes my heart happy. And
yes,
you know,
absolutely.
for us and what we're endeavoring to do, and also just for my dad smiling down. And
You know he is.
It's a great publication, and I'm so glad to have you on board and to just spread the word and all the good messages.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
We'll see you in the next issue.
Absolutely. Sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you to all the great sponsors of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. If you or your business is interested in being a sponsor of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show, please call our office at 830-992-1786 or visit our website, cowboyentrepreneur.com.
Hi, I'm Scott Knutson, host of the Cowboy Entrepreneur Show. Today, we're going to talk about something I'm really passionate about. Those that know me know I love my coffee. Those that don't, now you know I do. And we've been working on this for several months, and we wanted to get it just right. And we don't put our name on anything unless we feel 100% certain it's the best product we can get. And we've done it. I really believe we've done it. We've created a coffee line, 13 great flavors. I'm going to show you 3 of them. We have K-Cups in all 13 flavors. Here's a Jamaican Me Crazy. It's just a really great coffee. Everyone has great logos. It has a brand, the same brand that's on our horses, our trailers. You know that brand means something, and we wouldn't put it on here if it wasn't good coffee. We have whole bean. This is a great Honduran blend, and it's a whole bean coffee. We have whole bean in all 13 flavors. And then we have a ground coffee. This is a really great one. My wife and I really like this a lot, loved it. So we named it after our daughter, Haley's Blend. Everyone has the packaging and the logo of the show, our brand, and I hope you like it. I really believe you will. And we're going to have more flavors coming out soon. We're going to have the pumpkin spices, and then we're going to go to peppermint after that. And please send us your suggestions as well. You can find it at cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Think coffee shop. Cowboyentrepreneur.shop. Thank you so much.